So we are back. Uh, Once again, everyone knows the drill by now. We are solving code forces until our brain bleeds. And today I believe that I will be solving at least four questions because we have actually been going really slow, like in the past few days, and I actually need to accelerate that amount of solving questions. Uh, Let me just show you. We are actually a bit uh, what I can say, a bit far behind. And I need to pick up the pace. That's for sure. I need to pick up those pace. Mm, Like till now, we have done 44 questions, and we need to do quite more to reach this level. Like the end goal is to be a grandmaster, but first priority is to reach here. And before reaching this, even first priority is to reaching like around 1,000 rating. So that's what we are aiming for right now. And I hope that in the few coming days, in the and then by the next month, my rating will be at least 100. Because by then, if I solve two problems a day, by then I would have solved around 100 questions. I've already solved 44. So if I take that, like for the next 45 days, I keep solving. Have solved around. I would have solved around 150 questions. So that should at least put me in the rating bucket of around 1,000 to 1,200, right? That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Who knows where we will go, right? And if you have not noticed, I was just sleeping, and so just bear with me for a couple of minutes till I actually get back to the rhythm, to a normal rhythm. And yeah, as always, no one is watching, but that doesn't deter us at all. My classes are not clean. I'll just ask my mother when she'll come in to give me tea. I'll then just ask her to give me the case and then I will clean the glasses, right? So yeah. Now let's start problem solving, right? So let's start. We have wasted already a lot of time, and now we should start. We are given an array of n positive integers, one of which shows any number of array and add one to it, make that most two in operations. So that the array satisfies the property. I'm still not able to understand that. Why do we need to get this output? Like 4, 5, 6, 7. The question wants us to make at most two an operation so that the array satisfies the following property: a plus 1, ai plus 1 is not divisible by ai. Then the next character should not be divisible by the previous character. And right here we can see that 4 is divisible by 2 and 6 is divisible by 3. So we can simply change, we can change 4 and we can change 6. We can do uh, 2, 5, 3, 7. It still should work, right? I'm not able to understand this question. Like, I don't know why. Like, 1 is divided by 2. Okay. So, yeah, that's now this for this particular test case, it makes sense to just update the value to 3. But I'm not able to understand that why do we need to update the value of 4, even 4 here? Like, why? It's a pretty simple question now that I think about it. It's pretty simple. Uh, P of I plus 1 modulus P of I is equal to 0 and uh, the most important test case I should be checking out for is if AI, if there is any one in the problem, because that will fuck up a lot of things. Because one is something which uh, which divides everything. So if there is a one, we will have to change that. Should I first just change one? Yeah, let's just change one. No, that one. Rock. Oh shit. C equals to zero. Then just change v of I plus one just to plus plus. And then C out. No, no. Then for enter x of v C out x and the changes this. And then this should be C out. This should work. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty straightforward question and this should work. The simpler approach of mine. But obviously from the time it's taking to actually run the whole thing, I know it won't work. Uh, oh yeah. Uh, I need to do plus one here. Sorry, minus one because then only it will be able to travel to n minus one and it will be able to do it will be I will be able to get only till n minus two and then n minus two will be checked with n minus one. See, this are same. 2537, 2537 also works, and 234 also works. So we have essentially, I think, solved this problem, right? Now let's just quickly submit it and move on. 1794B. Is it gonna be solved, or do we have to? Is it gonna be accepted, or do we have to try it again and again and again and again? Check code forces. I don't have the patience required to actually wait that long. It will be accepted now because it's already gone to like any obvious errors. It gets gets a wrong answer at around running on test case 3 or test case 2. So if it's gone till then there is a very high likelihood that the uh, solution will be accepted. Either the net is very incredibly slow or code force is just making fun of me. There can be many two cases. So basically, we solved the first question, and now we will move on with the second one, right? Yeah, fucking. We'll just get it wrong, and we'll solve the next problem. Like I'm solving so much CP these days that my brain is starting to hurt, and I'm starting to believe that I should, cut down a little and take a break because, like today in the morning itself, I solved 4 questions, and now I'm again solving. I need some break, some kind of break to actually learn something, different other than just doing blind CP all day. Yeah, accepted. So we are off to a good start today. I was able to solve this in around 15 minutes. That's pretty good, right? Now, I don't know, but I'm not able to speak properly. Like something feels off. So I can pick two integers L and R such that I, L, and R can be equal, and both of them are less than N. Okay, repeat this K times let AL equals to AL plus 1, AL plus 1 equals to AL plus 2. AR minus 1 equals to AR, and then AR is equals to AL. Complete the whole cycle. Manic wants to maximize the value of an minus ai after exactly one such operation. Determine the maximum value of an that he can obtain. It's just it's multiple. To power 50. That's pretty low. and then date the same line of integer. Uh, First n, then n, and then distinct integer the sum of n overall text cases does not exceed 2000. Okay, so the constraints are pretty low for this question, and I don't know why. For each test case, output a single integer, the maximum value of a n minus ai that miner can obtain after doing the operation exactly once. But what is this particular okay, so we have to repeat this k times. We have to do this, pick this, and then repeat it k times. First case, we can rotate the subarray from index 3 to index 6 by an amount of 2. 9 here, and 9 here, 11 here, 5 here, 7 here. But how will that change? So the answer is an minus a1 equals to 11 minus 1. And yeah, the second test case, it is optimal to rotate the subarray starting in the second test case. The answer is 0. Yes, yeah. The third test case is also right. Optimal to rotate the subarray. Why can't we just uh, uh, use the fucking not fucking no fucking a sucking. We can use the sort, but that will change because the integers are logged in a certain order, and that will change the order, and and that will change the order arbitrarily. But we don't want to do that. We want to change the order in a specific sequence, so that won't work. Yeah, that won't work. But still, this gives me some kind of hint that they want a highest number and the lowest number, and they want to maximize the difference. But this is not a very flexible way of doing things. Because see, like this and this are not proportional, but we were still able to do this. Like we could have still be able to do it if it like we would have still gotten the same answer if we have done uh only from 11, 5, and 7. So 11 would have come to here, 7 would have come to 11, 5, and 7. And we would have repeated it two times. So the first 11 would have been here, 5 would have been here, 7 would have been here. Then the second time 11 would have been here, 7 would have been here, and 5 would have been here. So basically, it will all work. We just need to sort the array. Long story short, we need to sort the array to make this work. I think I'm oversimplifying this problem and that make it wrong. But I still want to check if this works or not. Obviously, this won't work, or the problem would have been too simple. But there is no harm in actually checking. Like it was a problem which came in Division 1. So I don't think, even though it's a A-rated problem, it shouldn't be that easy, right? Um, a subsegment of this array and cyclically rotated by an EMO. And that, like how long do I have to wait for it to say, like, that much time, bro? Yeah, I knew. Obviously, obviously this code shouldn't work. I'm not seeing a case in which this will go wrong. Uh, why is the output zero? How is it? How? Nah, it actually did it. Like I thought that it worked on this test case, but it didn't because obviously Vn minus one and V of zero is the same. So it worked, but I want to think that why didn't it work for the larger array? Right. So let's take our own test cases and then think about it. I got the answer. I think I got the answer. No, no. PO5 minus PO5 plus 1. PO5 plus 1. And then max difference equals to max of minus comma difference. And then we just basically say out max difference number line. This should not only there. Now let's say that is equal to 1. And this is 0 and apply line. Now it's we have this and this. So far. So even this won't work. Uh, so annoying. First you get all excited that you have solved a problem you have thought away, and then the next moment you realize that no, that's very unfair. Why is it making Agarwal like me? Here he is making a good extension. Here I am doing nothing with my life. Let's sit back. Yes. Let's see a hint. I was thinking I would be able to do something, but let's see a hint why, and then think about the problem once more. This is the problem. What happens if you rotate the whole array? That this solution which I earlier wrote would have worked effortlessly, would have worked efficiently if we had only the if we had no choice and we could only rotate the uh, array once, the whole array. Not that's between adjacent elements and also between endpoints. Uh, so earlier I was trying to maximize the difference between adjacent elements, but endpoints. But that's a very tough slope, right? Because then but because then like this and this and this are endpoints. If we keep doing this, eventually this and this will be at the point. But that's done. So maybe what I was doing was kind of right. Maybe. You don't think I can get that? No, I can get. Uh, let's just maximize. But we can just check it by simply doing v of n minus 1 minus v of 0. Like that will give us the first difference. So is this the answer? Who knows? Let's check. I was thinking somewhere, oh fuck, this is not the answer. But that's the issue that the expected output is 10 because they are outputting the like only reversing this part, rotating, and by rotating they are getting this 11 here. And then 11 is 1 is the lowest and 11 is the highest, so that's working. And in our operation, what we are trying to do is like calculating the difference between this and calculating the difference between this and calculating the difference between this and then calculating this and then finally calculating the difference between this and this. But in this, we are not taking into account that we can change a character's position by taking it into taking it with the uh, or maybe there is a way to do it and I'm just not able to find it. Uh, that could very well be an answer, very well be the truth. Nothing better than hitting your head in a wall while drinking evening tea. 1, 3, 9, 11, 5, 1 and 11. Like if we don't disturb, like this can be a thing, and then we can also find out what's the maximum uh, word, and then we can subtract the current, and it's maximum difference. Like now, I'm just doing random shit, which is like no algorithm, just forcing a way through to the problem, which is obviously not the right approach to have as a coder. Five, अरे fuck. Uh, maths, is max of max, difference, maths, techniques, log, mx minus zero. But what about the case in which we have zero is the max one? We will see. We will see after the solution comes. How was our approach? We will ask tutor ChatGPT what is the correct approach and how far will be from it. Only the last test case built. Time to why one test case, one more test case comes into my mind. I will even code that. Like this is the epitome of dumbness for a human being. But I think it should work after this. Like at least all the test cases here will be passed, and I still don't know what if I still don't know if it will solve the problem, but these test cases will be passed for sure. See, I actually made all the test cases work, but this is like a problem with a binary problem with three for loops shouldn't be right? Even though n complexity is just because of n cross t, it's still I don't think the right solution at all. And we will just find out how wrong it is. Or maybe I did solve the question, but that's kind of hard to believe, seeing the length of the solution. I could reach to 42 two lines of code. Maybe it did work. So yeah, it probably worked because it's already gone to test cases 49, the last of the test cases which fail, which which won't happen because the constraints the question wasn't of the type which would fail if the value gets too big. So I think it will be accepted. So we did actually solve the problem. Oh, we did solve the problem. We did solve. So we did solve the problem. Ah, now we just have to understand that how was the problem solved. I should say unexpected. Obviously, I can optimize this code. Like this is a very trashy code. Uh, come, like we can create this. We don't need separate loops for that, and do some work. That's not it, but I still think it will take at least two loops. So I'm curious to see the tutorial that what does like how does people think the most optimal way to solve this problem is because there needs to be a way, right? Like in the daytime, the questions were just not working. I was banging my head in the wall, and today in the evening, the questions I'm able to solve. Yesterday it was the exact opposite. I wasn't able to solve one problem online, like live, but I was able to solve four or three problems. No, day before yesterday, I was able to solve three problems uh, in the afternoon effortlessly. Like I was able to solve all those four problems which I did day prior to yesterday, like within 1 hour 30 minutes. Oh wow! And they use simple language. I don't know what have written. My code is much simpler than theirs. Given us see what's the answer given in the. So they actually use the same approach, same kind of approach as we used. Let me show you. So basically, they did this whole Dandama, and then they asked, Shah Sarif know the difference between the first. And this was the first answer. The second answer was the math and difference between the first any paper between any element and the first element because they like this problem is one of those problems which you think you are not getting, but the answer is not very clear, right? Like from these lines, you don't get that you have to make this kind of a solution. Basically, the question is asking us that we have to pick a subsegment of array. Like in this array, we have to pick a subsegment of array, and we can cyclically rotate it any number of times. And by cyclically rotating, we basically means that we will be the value of a of I will change to I plus 1, and that will happen till value of a of n minus 1 is changed to a of n, and value of a and n is again changed to a of 1. So a cycle is completed. And we can do this once on any subarray, and then it's asked to maximize the value of a n minus a. So they basically want to have the maximum value between the last element minus the first element. So they basically want to have a sorted version, not a sorted version essentially, but they want to have a scenario in which the maximum sum comes, like you know, you get my point, right? Then we check the maximum difference between any element and the first element because what if, what if that first element is the smallest and the max element. We just can do the max element at the. We can just change the value, just change the position of the max element, and we can do it. We can get any value of the s of the array to be anywhere. Like if the index is 3, we can get it to n minus 1. If the index is 2, we can get it to n minus 1. If the index is 7, we can get it to n minus 1. We can do it because we can repeat the the cyclical process any number of times. So first they are checking between this, and then will be checking with the last element, and then They will take the maximum difference between consecutive elements. Maybe because there can be a case in which we take the entire array and then cyclically rotate it. So the in the end one will be here and then three will be here. Or in the end, we take three and nine, uh, then nine will be here and three will be here. So all in all, we solved this question as well. Are going strong. So that's a good thing actually. We have to get back. Uh, Getting distracted. IT destroys. For any person who don't know, for any Indians, for any foreign viewers who don't know, NIT is basically National Institute of Technology, uh, engineering college that we students kind of dive for. Like NITs are like the number two category, the number two most wanted colleges after a few colleges in India. I wasn't even able to get into an IT. I just too dumb. Maybe I can end the stream today quite early because I started around 6:50, right? Fuck, I started pretty late streaming today. I actually should stream for 2 hours at least, right? Okay, so let's focus. What is the name of flavor? Oh, fuck. So this is the flavor. Basically, what a butcher has. Okay, so also the canvas. So the entire universe is solved. It can be represented as a one index array. of LinkedIn, when NIT snaps his finger, it does the following operations on the array. Smallest now. And so what he does, he selects L and R such that and then W is equals to max of AL starting from AL plus 1 to AR, like the windows created, and then he does he sets uh, for all L to R, he sets AI to W, and max is basically smallest non-negative number, non-negative integer that does not appear in S. That does not appear in S. Okay, max of S for beta. So if the smallest, first of all, it's non-negative, so it means all whole numbers 0 to infinity, and which means that the minimum is 0. And if like 2 comes in, then the uh, smallest number which didn't come in was would be 1. Okay, we select now. We say that universe is destroyed if and only if all R to n AI equals to 0 holds. Find minimum number of operations MIT needs to perform to make a the stories. You can choose basic figures and then say that the smallest is 0. Oh, okay. So then this answer will be it should be uh, uh and then towards the small larger number. But if we take 2 and 6, then all that operation fail because 1, 2 is here, so 2 is this, then 3, 4, 5, and 6. So L is 6. Uh, and it works like a window basically, like L works like a window and sets all AI to W. But if 2, 3, 1, 0 is the integers, then there isn't any non-negative integer smallest that hasn't appeared. So, uh, 3, 4, what why do we have to do it? And there's L equals to 4 and R equals to 4. What does this have? Yes, this is the smallest non-negative integer that does not appear in S. Does not appear in S. Okay. Why every clever person, oh, it's not clever, it's clever. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, L and R are not, oh no, they are integers. Plus that they are this and W is not like it all the value to W. For when AI is equals to 0. I'm still not able to like understand how this works. Like if according to him this in the third case one optimal way is doing the operation was respectively with L equals to 4, R equals to 4. So if we are taking the index as 1, like here, then 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what code are we achieving by doing it from L equals to R, 4, and the smallest non-negative value which hasn't appeared in this is 0 itself. Like I'm not able to understand the fucking question. And how can you even do the question if you're not able to understand the explain me how the third phase works in this solution. It is additive, right? Oh, so that's how I was able to understand one part and then one part. So then, uh, smallest non-negative non-integer. Noise equal to 0 and we are minus 1 is equal to 0, both are equal to 0, then uh, for that case the answer would be 2, right? So I should do it 2. No, yes, let's wait. There can be different cases, right? 0 or 99990 or 99999. In this case, we'll have to do the operation only here and what now? Plus one, operation here plus one, here operation plus one, here plus one. All the freaking cases, you will have to do the operation once. So we don't need to do this actually, and we can just do see out answer plus one. Maybe this work, maybe this won't work, but we will see. Like this is my current solution for now. Obviously it didn't work, but only for the first. In the first case, all values were zero. Okay, so we can check for that basically. So this test case is passed. Let's first check if this works or not, and if this does, then I will explain the code as usual. Like too, because obviously I'm a humble servant, right? You guys, I will first understand code, and then if it works, then I will tell you. And if it doesn't work, what the fuck is the work? And if it doesn't work, then I will tell you why my observation didn't. Why what I thought was the correct observation, which obviously wasn't the correct observation. So obviously thought wasn't the correct observation. Uh, shit. And I only have a button. Why am I operating chances? This oh, it will be. It will come. Like wait. Okay. I think this should work, but it's not working. I'm not able to understand why is this not working. Pick it, zero. Like at max, the answer like the map in the worst case, the answer will be two, right? It can't get more than two. I'm not seeing a situation in which the value of x can be like even if uh, 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 wait a minute. No, this is wrong. This is not wrong necessarily. No, this is wrong. And this is on the assumption. Yes. What if what if n is true? And there can be a case where n is true, and both of them there is a zero. So, what if that's the case? Then this array won't work, and answer will be plus one. If the both of the words are zero, that will work. If one of them is zero, then only one other should be done. Like I'm not able to see why is this? In which case will the solution break? Uh, let's ask uh, our tutor ChatGPT to enlighten us. Why is this wrong? Why is my solution long for this question? So our God ChatGPT is not working. Uh, I got ChatGPT is not working. No, it's working. It was just generating two responses. Still generating the responses solution. Yes. There's zero in the middle. The array's answer is two. Like in all cases, that's pretty much how I think it's working right. Let's just take 23056 03056 03050. That will work. Like if we just take this and change it to, let's say, one, the smallest, two at answer. If we take this as change to one, smallest will become one. This one. I'm not seeing any other case in which that isn't the answer. How the fuck is this the problem not asking the correct condition and how many contiguous blocks of non-element zeros are there? Zero blocks, answer zero on block one. How many contiguous blocks of non-zero elements are there? But if uh, what we can take this as like how can the answer be like the answer can be one? Oh fuck the answer. Array, shit. I clicked it right. Alright, I also identified that zero will be the correct answer. And 3 of 5 is not equal to 0 and array is not equal to 0. and I is not equal to 0. Shit. We of I isn't equal to 0. Isn't equal to 0. And we of I is 0. Wait. The 5 minutes on this meeting. Why is running endlessly for such a simple? Okay, I get it. So basically, for this problem, what my thinking was wrong in the sense I was instead of thinking that how many if there appears a zero in the middle and then checking separately the other conditions at the start and the middle, we had to check how many contiguous how many blocks of non-zero integers appear and the number of contiguous blocks if there are zero non-zero integers then the answer will be zero. If there is one then the answer will be one, and if there is two or more than two then the answer will be two, because I obviously even though how dumb I am, I was also able to understand that it depends on the it depends on no the maximum uh, the maximum answer needed would be two. So that's what I was able to observe myself. Now let's see what. it's teaching us a lot. ChatGPT is teaching us so that we can understand. Uh, See, what are we trying to count? We add y. What are we trying to count? We want the number of we want the number of contiguous blocks of non-zero elements like this. Then we want the number of contiguous blocks of zero like this. And in this, you can see that non-zero elements contiguous blocks are one, two, and three. And the question is, how can we detect the beginning of each block? Now, for this, since there are three blocks, you can, like what I saw in the question, that okay, we'll take this entire block as one, and like any value, the smallest integer will be 8, and then 8. All the values here will be changed to 8, as this is already 0. So then all the smallest non-negative integer, which will be 0, will be replacing this. So that's what I thought, and that's why I was trying so hard to match these conditions. But obviously, so every block has exactly one starting element. Yeah, for the above array. Yeah, and if the first elements are 2, 5, and 8, if we count these blocks and they're not equal to 0, but the previous one, if I is v of I is not equal to 0, like if 2, we know 2 is not equal to 0, but before 2, just 0 came. So it's the start of a new contiguous, a new non zero integer block, right? And so when does a new block start? Uh, previous is 0, yeah. So a block starts when current element is 0 and the previous element is non-zero. That's where this comes in. And this is a very good statement, you know. Uh, what about the first element? Like, let me explain this. Like, if this basically means that if the first element, if the current element is not equal to 0, and if I equals to 0, which is if it comes true, then this won't be checked, and we will just get the, because then I will be the first value, and if we go I minus one, then it will be v of minus one, which obviously is not an index in an array, so which will obviously give a compile time error. So we use or here because if there are two statements in a or, like one and then two, the if the first statement gets true, then the second statement is not checked. That's how OR works. And if the first statement is false, then the second statement is checked. So if v of I is not equal to 0, and so the second one will be checked, this entire one will be checked. I is equal to 0. No, I is not equal to 0. So we will check this one. And if the previous element is equal to 0, then that basically means that this is the start of a new contiguous block. So that's what we had to do. And whenever that's true, we just like whenever a new block starts, we just do block plus plus. Yeah, I get it now. Whenever I basically told it to, teach, re-explain the code, and now it's doing in like way more depth than I actually need for this question. And why do we print pin off blocks? Because if the blocks are more than three, like in just the previous case, the answer always comes back to two. But if the block is one, then the answer will be one. This is one case because of which my answer was coming out wrong because I wasn't checking for this If somehow I found a way to check even for this condition, then my answer would have been correct. That's this is something which you can see and which I won't obviously be seeing. Now let's see the tutorial and then we will call it a day because it's already 8:46 and we have to do some more things. How many operations will be performed? Two, at most two wires. Because if there are more, then we can just do answer at most because doing the operation on one and at most twice will always do our direct content at least 1 0. We need two operations. So we need one. If the array consists of zero, the answer is yeah. Basically, that's what is saying that what ChatGPT told us in a much clearer way. So that's it. We solved three questions today, and yeah, that's it for today. Is even though my brain is not hurting.